Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Grape, where we look at interesting wines from around the world. We never rate them, we just talk about them, have some fun. What would you eat with them? And tell a little story about the winery at the same time to hopefully give some information back to you, my friends, and the general public. Also, I want to make sure that everyone out there is doing well during this time of COVID. Certainly not an easy time. But I'm thinking of you all. Hopefully you are having to spend some time with your families, your loved ones. Hopefully you're out there supporting your local restaurants, your local distillers, wineries, breweries, whatever it may be. And if you are out there supporting them, please make sure that we're 6 feet apart and that we're wearing a mask. I wear a mask, you wear a mask, we all wear a mask. It's our new reality, but we're going to get through this together. So today, going back down to New Zealand, one of my favorite places. As I mentioned in a previous episode, I was lucky enough to go down to New Zealand a couple of years ago. But what I was really thrilled about, because I finally found this wine, it's from the winery and the winemaker who I stayed with for a week while I was down there. And that's the winemaker's Clive Jones, and the winery is Nautilus Estates, and this is their 2016 Pinot Noir. And this is grown predominantly from two sites in the Southern Valleys, which is a sub-appellation of Marlborough. Nautilus Estates is owned by the Robert Hill Smith, by Robert Hill Smith. He also owns other notable wineries such as Yalumba, Opawa, Jan's, who does phenomenal sparkling wines out of Tasmania, Dalrymple, also a phenomenal Pinot Noir, and of course Nautilus. He's owned the winery since 1985 and has been the sole owner for 30 consecutive vintages, and Clive has been their winemaker. Obviously, Sauvignon Blanc was their calling card, but they planted Pinot Noir in 1999 and released their first vintage in 2014 from this site. What I love about Nautilus is that Clive is always willing to take chances. When I was down there, he showed me a little parcel where he's growing Gruner Veltliner. And I was thinking, what are you thinking, growing Gruner Veltliner in Marlborough? You know, I thought maybe it was too cool, which I shouldn't have thought that, because it's, you know, it's not overly hot in certain regions of Austria where you're growing Gruner. But his style was spot on. And the fact that he was trying it was really encouraging to me. In fact, I even bought some of the Gruner for the Shangri-La when we first opened that property. But Pinot, the heartbreak grape. If it gets too hot, no good. If it gets too cold, no good. It's such a delicate grape, but it's an alluring grape. It's a seductive grape. It's a sexy grape, if I can say that. And I find that the Nautilus Pinot Noir is a great bridge between Burgundy and California. Is where I always look at the comparison. If you don't have the budget for Burgundy, and maybe you don't want that rich style of California, because it is not for everyone, this falls right in the middle. It has nuances of old world charm, but obviously in a new world environment, and it just hits all the right points on the palate and just leaves you wanting more. So let's look at it. You know, again, this is a very translucent, thin-skinned grape. In fact, if I were to put this down, I could read the newspaper through the glass. That's how light it is. It's very clean. It's very clear. There's no staining of the tears, and it's got medium viscosity. The nose, classic Pinot. There's the earth element, the bright red fruit. There's red raspberries, red cassis, red currants, all really bright, vibrant. There's red florals, red roses, and purple flowers. There's that earth component, the mushroom, the button mushrooms, wild mushrooms. There's a graphite minerality. You know, it's a hard rock soil base in Marlborough, and there's a lot of baking spices on here: anise, cinnamon, cloves. The wine does spend its 30% in French barrique. Taste it. Wow. Again, the palate mimics the nose. Red strawberries, red cassis, red currants, red cherries, the bright Bing cherries, red raspberries, the purple flowers, the red flowers, the roses, the violets. The graphite minerality is still there. That earth, the potpourri, the wild mushroom, anise, clove, cinnamon, nutmeg. Great wines. Nothing is overpowered. There's great balance between the oak use, the fruit, and the tannins. Tannins are very light, which I expect. Pinot being a thin-skinned grape, you don't tend to see high tannins. Alcohol sitting quite pronounced. Factor this in around 13%. I always like to double check my alcohol just to see. So I'll take a look at that. I say 13. 13.5. Not bad. I'll take that. It's got great length. It's still releasing the red fruit. It's still being released all the way throughout. It's got great balance. I'd say it's a pretty complex wine because there is so much there, like so much of the fruit, so much of the oak elements that are showing through. So when you say a wine is complex, like if you can rhyme off 6 or 7 things about a glass of wine, you almost have to say it's complex. If you can only name 1 or 2 things, it's probably not a complex wine. I would enjoy this with a roasted leg of lamb. I'd actually probably have this with a nice homemade lasagna. But for me, it's going to be more that game meat on the barbecue. Or I just sit back and quaff this with a little bit of Blue Elizabeth cheese from Cheese Boutique here in Toronto. Retails for $29.95, so it's not inexpensive, but it delivers bang for the buck. And when it's not at the LCBO, I believe it's still being imported through Breakthrough Beverages, formerly B&W Wines, here in Ontario. And I do believe it is readily available across the country. So if you're looking for a nice glass of Pinot at home or on your patio, take a look at your local LCBO. Take a look for Nautilus Estates. It's a great operation, great wine, and you won't go wrong for the $29.95. Thanks, everyone. This is Behind the Grape. See you next time.